Sveiki, and welcome back to your irregular Latvian lesson. So now you know how to talk Ziemassvētki, so now let's do Ziemassvētki. By which I mean let's talk about some of the Christmas traditions that us Latvians have historically followed. If you go now as a tourist to Latvia, you'll see that our Ziemassvētki looks pretty much the same like everywhere else in the Christianized Western world. We have the market and the trees, but it was not always the case. Before we were made to accept the new gods, the Baltic pagans also celebrated Christmas, or as they called it back then, and we still do in modern Latvian, Ziemas saulgrieži. Ziemas saulgrieži. I know it sounds scary, but don't worry, it's just a saliktenis. Saule means the sun, and griezt is a verb which means to turn. I think it sounds very much like the action that it describes, griezt. Do you agree? So literally, saulgrieži means the turning of the sun, or in civilized English, winter solstice. So the logic is that it's celebrated in the longest night of the year, when the darkness completely overpowers the light. And the counterpart to Ziemas saulgrieži is the summer solstice, or Jāņi, which is celebrated in the shortest night of the year. The information that I'm giving you is more or less correct, because sources differ, either because traditions were different in different regions, or because it was gathered at different times and centuries, or maybe because of journalists. Know that. So usually the celebration would start around the 20th of December and last from 4 days to a week. You know, svētki in plural. The first thing to do is eat a lot. Some people say that you should eat 9 dishes on Christmas and others say 12, but the overarching idea is that you have to eat many times in order to ensure that the next year will be fruitful with good harvests, riches and prosperity. So here are some of our Christmas cuisine favorites. We have baked grey peas, or as we call them, pelēkie zirņi, preferably with speķis, or bacon. Then we have zīdenis and koča, or ķūķis, as it is also known. So both of these are porridges made from either beans or barley or some other grain, with the occasional pig's leg inside, or some speķis. Then we have cūka šņukurs. Literally the snout of a pig, but actually it is an entire pig's head that is boiled in broth and served with potatoes. Very important to eat that in order to ensure a good harvest the next year. And then of course, I have to mention speķa pīrādziņi, which is my personal favorite, and you should definitely try it when you're visiting Latvia, and beer. Let's move on to activities. The main event of the evening is the pulling of the bluķis, or in Latvian, bluķa vilkšana. Bluķis is a log, a big log preferably, and so multiple people gather together and they drag this bluķis all around their house or like their farm or their area. It symbolizes the hardships and the sorrows of the previous year, so while people are pulling it around, they're usually dancing and singing Latvian Christmas songs. And in the end, the best part, the bluķis and all the sorrows and sadness of the last year is burnt, goes up in flames and disappears forever, so we can start the next year with a clean slate. For a toned down version, or if you're doing this indoors, you can take a small log, or pagale as we call it, and drag it around your house, and then throw it in the fireplace. Then, and I really like this one, we have taketas, or budeļi. So in order to understand this one, you have to remember that Latvians have always been very close to nature, so a lot of our traditions and beliefs have to do with ensuring a good harvest, good health and fertility. So what is taketas? On Christmas, crowds of people gather together, disguised with masks, or as we call them in traditional Latvian, viepļi. I learned a new word today too. So they can become animals, they can dress up as paranormal creatures like witches, devils, or lauska, the winter spirit. Or also vegetables. Yes, you can dress up as a cabbage. That's an idea for you for next Halloween. So the budeļi or taketas assemble, and then they go from house to house in order to perform rituals to bring blessings and fertility to every household. And the parade is very loud, filled with songs and dances and going crazy. It also usually happens at night, and so the louder the better. Once they arrive, the first thing to do is that all of the members of the household get whipped. Yes. It is to increase fertility. One thing to know about Latvians is that we love to hit each other with tree leaves or tree branches, or in the case of budeļi, a whip with Māra signs on them. Māra is the goddess of fertility. So yeah, we do it on Christmas, on Easter, at Jāņi, and when there is no festival, there is always the ritual of the Latvian sauna. Once everyone's fertility is increased, the budeļi visit the entire area, all of the houses, the barns and pantries, in order to bless them and make sure that the harvest next year is rich. And then, once the rituals have been completed, the budeļi don't work for free. So it is expected that the hostess prepares a hearty feast for everyone. Everything and all the time is followed by traditional songs, dances, and games. We cannot talk about it all today, but I hope that this gave you a small insight into the Latvian Christmas tradition. There is one more Christmas video coming up. If I'm good, I will show you how to make a traditional Christmas decoration. But yes, next year I think I will make a video about the different beliefs and rituals that you can do in order to tell the future on Christmas and to ensure good things. I find them very clever and very funny. And so today I will leave you with one of them. In order to find out what will happen in the future, on Christmas night people go to the barn to listen to what the horses are talking about. Bye.